Hey everybody, Bob DiGiacomo of Intentional Growth Coaching, and we're coming to you again. You probably see my sidekick Alejandro the Tornado Tornato. Make sure you when you say his name. It's so important. And we're coming to you again. We've got some great things we're going to be chatting about tonight, and it's about time. No pun intended. I think, Alejandro, we're going to be talking about time and lateness and not too lateness. But before I get into that, how are your resolutions coming?
My resolution, let me say that we are still very early in this 2020 a new decade year, and my resolutions, let me begin by saying that usually I am not a person who makes resolutions at the beginning of each year. I think that what I do is I keep moving along the same pathway that I have been walking in the previous year, but I try to take it to the next level. I try to increase, I would say, increase the vibrational frequency. The molecules and the atoms and the smaller particles in my body and mind, they vibrate a little bit faster. But the reason is, I think that what we talked during our episode when we talked about New Year's resolutions or resolution revolution, is that most people who actually set up on a very temporary basis those New Year's resolutions, they never achieve anything because there's not a determined commitment to do anything. It's just because I'm going to do it because everybody else does it. And when you get into that way of thinking and living, I'll do it because everybody else does it, it just is a formula for failure. It's not a formula for success.
So it's, we couldn't have segued any better as if we had planned this out. But I tell you what I'm hearing you say is it's not a factor of creating a bunch of resolutions, because less is more, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's about staying the course, and of course it's about time. And tonight we're going to be talking about time because I know when we had spoken over the previous weeks about it's not too late.
Right.
But for some people, it's always too late. I mean, I feel like sometimes I'm dealing with the white rabbit running around in Alice in Wonderland, going, "I'm late for a very important date." You know that story, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be chatting about time. We're going to be chatting about it being not too late, it being too late, it being never too late. I just want to quickly interject and tell a quick story here, because one never knows how much time one is going to be given. We're young. We think we have lots of time. We get into our teens. We still think we have lots of time. And then the sun begins to set for us older people who want to feel old. I don't want to feel old. But the sun begins to set because as the days are counting up, they're also counting down. And you never know what day you're not going to wake up. Now, obviously, I hope somebody lets me know the day I don't wake up, just so that I know. But I quickly want to just tell the story about a guy that lived in my hometown back in Syosset, New York, long time ago. I didn't really know him. I knew his sister. His sister was in my class, and I actually took her to the prom. I hadn't yet met him. I knew of him, but I hadn't yet met him. And then just a couple of years ago, through Barry Smith,
Okay. Yeah.
in Palm Beach, he says, I saw a picture of you. I said, where? He said, well, this guy that's my neighbor is from your hometown.
Oh, wow.
Now, what I didn't realize, because I had gone my way, obviously, people live their divergent lives. I had gone my way. I didn't realize that when he was in 10th grade, that he had had a swimming accident at the beach one day and ended up becoming, at the young age in the 10th grade, of being a quadriplegic.
Oh, my goodness.
He nearly didn't make it, but he did. And obviously there's a story that goes with that. But where I'm going with this, why I'm saying it's not too late, is that this past Christmas on December the 23rd, Barry told me a few days later, he had come to pneumonia, and they took him to the hospital. And on the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, 2 days before the family is going to be celebrating and all that comes with the Christmas season, he passed away.
Oh my! Oh, that was.
And you have to just, I look inside and I say, okay, how much time am I still wasting, even though I'm trying not to waste time?
That's right. And it's amazing, Bob. I really appreciate, that you share that story, because that story illustrates in a very powerful way the total importance of time and the concept of time and the concept of this wonderful phrase that we are discussing tonight, that it's not too late, that it's never too late. If you want to do something, if you want to begin high school because you had not had a chance to do it when you had the age to do it, but perhaps you are in your 50s and you said, I'm not going to die before graduating from high school. And for most people, they could say, wow, at 50, going to high school and getting a diploma, what? But it's never too late. If you have the determination, if you have the desire, go for it. I said to many people, and even when I coach people, some people are so very much conscious of their age, and they equate, I am X number of years, of course I cannot do this, or I will not be able to do that, or people are going to laugh if I do this, or if I do that, or if I start this. And I said, listen, we are not living for what people say, or for what the number of years that you know that you have will limit you. If you have the strength, if you have the desire, if you want to achieve more, age is not a limiting, is not something that would limit you. So just do whatever while you have breath in your lungs, while you have life. Live it to the fullest. It's like an orange. Squeeze it and keep squeezing it until you get the last drop. And don't stop before you get the last drop.
Not only before you get the last drop, but there's still value in the skin even once you've gone past
That's right. And also, I know that you are a Bible believing person. And what does the Bible say? And don't ask me where the verse is, because I won't be able to tell you. But in the Bible, it says that our days are numbered.
Yes, yes.
Our days are numbered. And so if they are numbered, what right do we have to waste them instead of living them to the fullest potential that we had been created to be and to
So you're getting into some technicalities that these days have been lent to us.
I don't know about the technicalities, but is the fact that I mean, it's never too late, and we are here for a purpose. Now, some people put more attention to their age and what they can do, as opposed to forget about that, keep doing what you need to be doing, because there's always time to do it.
So let me bring up a couple of points here, and I'm going to age myself because I'm a very big with nostalgia. So I go back in time. There's that word again. There was a movie that came out. It was either the late 30s or the early 40s, and it was called On Borrowed Time. It's a book that came out as a book first, and then obviously they made the movie. And in this movie, there was this young kid and his grandfather. His grandfather was in a wheelchair. His grandfather didn't have many days left. And evidently in the garden one day, the tree was shaking, and there was a guy up in the tree. Come to find out that this guy was what they referred to as Mr. Death. I think his name was Mr. Brinks. And the kid actually tricked the man and trapped him in the tree. And what happened was that time came to a standstill. Nothing could go on. There could be no births. There could be no deaths. Time came totally to a standstill. And of course, the moral of the story was that they realized that time has to go on. So eventually he had to let the guy out of the tree. But then taking it a little further into modern times, we have the movie by H.G. Wells, again the book before the movie, The Time Machine, and the ability to go forward into time or back into time. And where do you really fit in those windows of time? Should you not stay in your window? And let me just add one more thing. Again, I'm aging myself. Back in the 60s, a song was written by the Byrds, B-Y-R-D-S, the British group. And it was called My Back Pages. And My Back Pages. But the key line in that song was, I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. So we pull the Scarlett O'Hara. I can't think about that today. I'll think about that tomorrow. And then all of a sudden tomorrow, and it becomes like a domino. So time cannot be borrowed. Money can be borrowed. Money can be paid back. But time cannot be paid back. We don't have that machine.
That's right. That's right. And it's really amazing. One of the things that I haven't been able to figure out, I mean, when I'm in conversations with people, is why is it that age, for some people and for most people, I would say, it plays such an important part. I mean, people are very much conscious of their age, but I truly believe that we, although we cannot avoid the passage of time and the fact that everyone, without exception, whether you are a baby or whether you are an adult, we are every day getting older, okay? But I think that is how you feel, no matter what your chronological age is. I feel with a lot of energy. I feel with a lot of vitality. I feel that I have many more things to contribute and to give out to this world and to help people. And I think that when you have um, that thinking paradigm that is not about you, but is what you can do for your environment, for other people, I mean, for the world, the legacy that you are building and creating every single day and every single moment. I think that those thoughts, those actions, those daily actions would keep someone young and moving forward, and not even thinking about age. I mean, age is something that, yes, it's just another year, okay, but the important thing is not to celebrate your birthday. I think that the important thing is, what have you done, what impact have you had in the world? How many people have you been able to influence during that year, as opposed to just celebrating the year? Is what are the results that you can show the world that you have been able to accomplish? I think that that is a good use of the time that we have.
So let's evolve a little bit. Let's transition. Because last time we were on, we spoke about being intentional. Not just celebrate the year, but celebrate each and every day. Each day is a birthday for us. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I want to say a quick hello to everybody that's watching us live. So I know you'll want to do the same.
Yes. Who? I mean, can you see? I mean, who is?
Well, I don't have that window open, but I do know that there are some people watching us live, because I see the numbers up on the top of the screen, and that's a great thing, because they've taken some time to spend with us, and that's a wonderful thing, because we're going to be doing this a couple of times a month. I'm looking forward to that. Yes. In life, as we get into our days, we sometimes say, I woulda, coulda, shoulda, or I shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yes. Whatever the series goes, but I think is not to live a day with regrets. You know, is what a great feeling, and I'm sure that it works for me, and I know that it works for you. But what a great feeling is to be able to go to bed every single night knowing that you have done what your heart wanted you to do. I mean, your heart's desire.
The sanctum sanctorum.
That's exactly right. Yes, I mean, as opposed to people that perhaps they get into an automated routine, and they just do exactly the same thing day in and day out. Day in, they live on autopilot, and they don't use their creativity, they don't use their thinking ability, they don't try to stretch themselves beyond their capabilities, they don't try to do something new, they don't try to make a mistake, they don't try to fail. And then, what do you think the feeling would be when they finally go to bed at night and then perhaps they look back on what they've done during the day? And the only thing that they can come up with is, my goodness, I did today exactly the same as what I did yesterday. I mean, that's not a good feeling. Is that
No, and that's if they even take the time to look back. Again, you're testing me on my nostalgia and my education coming up, and you're reminding me again of the book Brave New World,
Okay.
where the people were created for certain tasks, and that's all that they did every day, and they were not allowed to evolve up or down. Their task was their task. But I write things down each and every day. I throw a shout out to one of my mentors, Ed DaCosta, who said, "You wouldn't attempt to climb Mount Everest without putting in the preparation." And yet,
it would be very foolish, wouldn't it?
It would be, but yet Mount Everest is there. It's waiting. Each of us has a Mount Everest of some kind calling to us, almost like South Pacific, Bali High calling that special island, although I'm on a special island right now. But there's a calling, and we can avoid the calling, and then we have regrets later on in life.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I mean, when we think that people, some people, I mean, they spend most of their life, most of their strength in the pursuit of wealth, material possessions, riches, fame, fortune, and those possessions, if they are taken for whatever reason, they can be gained once again. Okay, I mean, if you did it one time, then you know the drills, you know the skills, you know the ability that you have. You can redo it again and again.
And if you didn't, you can reset.
Yes,
and start again.
That's exactly right. However, when it comes to the concept of time, and when it comes to time, is such a powerful concept, because time it's a non-renewable resource. A second that you lost is a second that you will never, forever being able to recover.
Time in the universe is infinite.
Yeah.
Time in ours is finite. Let me quickly show you this. Some people who have attended IMC will know exactly, because I always like to bring them a little gift of some Bermuda sand. It's pink.
Oh, okay.
But can you envision? Let me come a little closer. Can you envision and appreciate how many grains of sand
are in that little bottle?
Are in this little bottle? And then equate the sand of your hourglass.
That's right. And then equate that to the grains of sand. As I heard one time, I don't know, I mean, what was the teaching that Paul Martinelli was doing, but he was mentioning that in his condo in Jupiter Island in Florida, then he lives just across from the beach, from the ocean, and he says, just go to my beach and then pick up a shot glass of sand and then pour it on a table and count the grains of sand in that little shot glass. And you won't be able to do it. I mean, you'll be able to do it, but it's going to take you a fair amount of time to count every single grain of sand. Now, imagine that and multiply it to just the whole front of my beach there, okay? And then go even further to the whole beach. I mean, I don't know how many miles, I mean, would that be? And then equate that even further to every single beach in the world. Now, it just blows your mind. I mean, that concept. And this is what time, as you said, time in the universe is infinite. However, we are very limited. And we need to start thinking about counting the grains of sand, because when one of those grains of sand is gone, it's just gone. And if we did not make good use of that, then there's nothing that we can do.
So as we begin to bring this to a close, I just again want to send out a thank you to those who have been watching us live. So you know I'm going to push a button here. So what would you like to say in closing?
Well, first of all, I just want to also add my thanks, and I'm so grateful that we have the opportunity to do these Facebook Lives and to have people with us, because it is great to remind people every once in a while of the importance of time. That time is something that, I mean, we don't have to become obsessive about time, but we have to be aware that time, no matter what we do, whether we do a lot, whether we do little, or whether we do absolutely nothing, time keeps moving forward.
Exactly.
Time keeps moving forward, and I think that it is the way that we live our life, and that we live in that finite concept of time. We need to realize that it is never too late for any human being to do whatever it is, whatever you are passionate about, whatever you are desirous to do. Don't look at time and say, well, I am 60, I am 70, I am 80. It's too late for me. No, never think that way. There are people, and I read stories of centenarians that began learning how to read and write when they were 100 years old. And they began teaching other people how to read and write. So if they have that willingness to do it, I mean, we can do, Bob, I think that we can do the impossible, because there's nothing impossible. While we have time, and while we are on this side of the ground, and we can still breathe and we can still move, let's keep doing, and let's keep making a difference in the world. I think that is the message that I have.
Perfect. And I'll leave you with some Latin. Nil sine Deo. Not to get overly religious, but nothing is impossible with God.
That's
So
right.
my closing is, it's never too late, but it may be later than you think. So take each day with significance and intentionality. And I've got lots of stories, but I'll save them for another time that we get on. So Alejandro, the Tornado Tornato, it's been great chatting with you. And by the way, everybody, this will be a YouTube as well. So Alejandro will be able to put this on his Facebook page, and certainly I will have it on my Facebook page, as well as both of us have YouTube channels. And if you haven't subscribed to Alejandro, I would certainly recommend that you do. And you can get notified every time he does a new YouTube.
Sure, definitely.
So that's it. And I'll wish you well, sir. And until next time.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be with you, my dear Bermuda Bob friend.
Absolutely.
Great to be with you.
All the best.
Okay.